we'll go ahead and get started. I am going to repeat our supplies for today, and then I'll introduce myself, you know, for anyone else who is new. We're going to need some paper, preferably some sturdy paper if you have watercolor paper, or perhaps some cardstock. Either watercolors or washable markers, because the washable markers, they work very well. They work the same way as watercolor markers, the same thing. You'll need a brush, you'll need some water and napkins, a pen, and a pencil and an eraser. Only reason I'm speaking slow is because I have to remember. You gotta remember everything. So, welcome. If you are new, welcome back. If you have been here, if I know you guys. My name is Hannah, and I have multiple sclerosis. Many of you guys know that. I was diagnosed in 2017, so it's been almost 5 years now. Yeah, almost 5 years. In fact, my diagnosis day is coming up next week on the 28th. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do anything fun yet, but anyway, that's another topic of conversation. We can get into that later. Let me go ahead and get started now. So let me go ahead and introduce our two little birdies here. If you think of names, let me know. I don't know names. I am going to teach you guys first how to draw these little birdies, and then we're going to fill them in with some color. And then we'll wait for it to dry a little bit, and then we'll do a whole bunch of patterns on top. We may or may not finish on time. I don't mind going over 15 minutes, especially since we started pretty late. So I totally don't mind doing that. I'm going to teach you guys a few different, very simple patterns that you can put in the middle, and we can just kind of go from there. The idea is to put the color in there, and like I said, I'll teach you those few patterns, but just run with the patterns that come into mind after you've learned them a little bit, which I know it's not easy to do that. And I know I make it sound a little easy. So feel free to practice a little bit on like a spare piece of paper, okay? So let me put this down, and let me go ahead and pick up my regular drawing sheet of paper. Now I'm going to lead you guys through drawing two little birdies. And the thing about birdies is that there's a whole bunch of different, obviously types, species, of course. I'm not going to go with any one species. That's just not how my mind works, unless I'm like actually looking at the species and trying to replicate a drawing. I'm not going to go for that. We're going from abstract here. So I'm going to start off with the head, and then I'll draw the body, and I'll try to simplify it as best as I can. And I'm actually going to spotlight, here we go, spotlight myself for you guys. Okay, I'm going to take this off. It's a little bit distracting. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm using my pencil, have my eraser handy. I want you guys to press down lightly. I want you to be able to erase it easily, just in case you need to. We're not going to spend too much time on the birdie. I, however, am going to press down hard because I want you guys to be able to actually see what I'm doing here. So we're going to start with the head, and then we're going to draw the body. Sorry for the doggy in the background. He's very protective. He's our alarm clock. Okay, so I have a little birdie head, and it's literally just going to be a circle. If you're like me and you can't draw a perfect circle, hey, that's fine. Nobody can. Erase it as needed. We'll get into the body in a little bit. I tried to fix that lump and it didn't really work out. That's okay. Now go ahead and draw the head of the other birdie. So other birdie is going to be right next to it. I'm trying to simplify this as best as I can. Now, I didn't mean to put these birdie heads very far away, so I'm going to redraw that. Feel free to put another little birdie in there. It really just depends on you. Everybody here is on different levels as far as art is concerned. So please just feel free to venture off and do whatever you like to do. Sometimes I like to, well, not sometimes, I always like to see everyone's progress. Okay, little birdie heads right there. They're just floating. And I want to show you guys the little birdie bodies. I'm going to simplify this quite a lot. So the birdie body is going to consist of an upside down droplet of water. It's going to be round for the shoulders, and it's going to come to a point down here. And then I'm just going to make a feather shape, a very, very abstract feather shape coming off of that. Again, very, very simplified. Press down lightly for it. It's even going to overlap the head just a little bit. And something about birdie bodies is that sometimes they can be short and stout, kind of like this little guy. It's an upside down droplet of water. I'm going to erase that rogue line right there. I'm going to erase that one. So a little shorter, a little more stout. This one perhaps is a little bigger, perhaps kind of like a blue jay. Kind of got a longer end there. I'm going to round that part out. It's a little awkward painting from the side like this. Yeah, appreciate the lack of laughing at me. Okay. I know I'm going kind of fast, but I do want to give you guys plenty of time for the doodles on the inside. So if you're like me and you missed the mark on the head, you did not overlap that body with the head. If that's you, don't fear, that's okay. We are going to draw the neck in there as well. It doesn't really matter exactly where your birdie is looking, what direction, for example. We're just going to go right here from the shoulders, stretch it to the head. From the shoulder, stretch it to the head. Again, gonna look a little funny. They all look a little funny at first, but we'll get there, I promise.
Hannah, that's only if you didn't overlap.
Yes, that's the one in which I missed the mark. I didn't overlap it. So my little birdie just happens to have a longer neck.
I got you. Okay.
Now, if you did happen to overlap it, then you may not need to draw very much of a line, if any at all, honestly. You can barely see that little line there. That's honestly nothing, really. So it really just depends on you and your birdie. I'm actually going to erase these lines now. And we'll get to the tail in a moment, but I'm going to erase this line. This is the head line, okay? Like the line for the head. Same thing with this one. I'm going to erase this one. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going to erase this one. I'm going to erase that straight line there. Now I am going to clean up all of these lines with my pen, just so you know. I promise I'll ask you guys about your week whenever we're finished, whenever we get through the drawing lesson. I always like to ask if anybody's done anything creative during the week. So just think about that. I know Judy had her had a wedding to help out with, so that was her creative fix for a little while. Okay, so just erase some lines. Now let's go ahead and draw the tail in there. So the tail, allow me to show you. Usually they're pretty long. They're always going to be a little bit thinner at the end there, just a little bit. Sometimes a lot thinner depending on the bird. Sometimes, actually, I think this tail in particular, I wanted to make it a little bit skewed. It's partially a diamond shape, if you even want to call it that. Like it goes down, bends down into a point just a little bit. Sometimes you have tails that are a little bit more flat on the bottom here. So once again, we are still going to be drawing these tails a little bit with the lighter pencil. So perhaps this little guy can get the longer tail. They're always just going to be just a little bit thinner or a lot thinner at the base. They can come down to an even point or not. Now I'm going to fix this line right there. It really just depends completely on you. And I always want you to go, you know, and do your own thing if that's what you really want to do. Again, we're just drawing very basic shapes. I'm going to fix this little spot right here. There. And then another fun part is we'll get to draw some beaks. And then we'll get to draw the wings. So draw the beak, and then we'll draw the wings. Now, as far as beaks are concerned, trying to describe exactly how to, I guess, like think about beaks. A lot of times when you're looking at it from that angle, they're more of a diamond shape because it's much better if I show you. It's very much a diamond shape. Some beaks are short, just like this one. Some are a little bit more elongated. They come out a lot more. They always will go inside the head just a little bit into another diamond shape. Now this one's very classically diamond shape. You can definitely tell it's a diamond shape, but this one, not so much. This edge is shorter. This edge is pretty short. This edge is the longest. No, it really doesn't matter so much. You know, if your birdie is your birdie, okay? The only thing that's important is figuring out which direction you want it to face. Now, I always find that it's a lot easier to face each other. Little birdies are facing each other. And I'm erasing this little spot here in the head. So we will close that up. It's also sometimes, it just depends on you, but some people find it easier to, when you're trying to figure out how far out to make the beak, how long to make the beak, sometimes it's easier to make a little dot. Go from that dot. He's got a little smile right there. I've made this line from the half point. This line goes to the head. So I made the top of the beak first, then I made the middle mouth, and then I made the bottom. Technically a diamond shape because now we're going to complete the diamond like that. I have a whole nother birdie to create. So if you'll need to see the beak creation again, I'll do it again. Move to this side for this little birdie. Okay, so once again, I'm going to make my little mark out here that signifies how far out the beak is going to go. See my little dot right there. This next part is going to be the top. Then I'm going to do the middle. You can smile. Little birdie can smile if you want it to smile. And then the next one, I'm going to go down. Now it looks like a crow. And then we're going to complete the very abstract diamond like so. Again, very abstract birdies. And then after this, we will create the feathers now. Now, let's go ahead and erase just the middle portion of this line. The only reason I say that is because it's nice to see like perhaps the shoulders forming on the birdie. Go ahead and put that part right back in. It's nice to see the shoulders. I'm just going to erase a little bit. You can erase more or less if you want to. Depends on you. And then now we have to separate the wings on the back. So the wings, we've got one on each side here. So in order to help to, I guess, separate them, you can start on the bottom, on the point. I'm going to do it on the shorter one. The shorter one's a little bit easier to work with first. So on the point down here, I'm going to reach upward and I'm going to curve it a little bit. Then we're going to go back down and reach up and curve it the opposite way. Let's see how well I can get this without really looking at it. Wish me luck. Curve it up that way, and then curve it up. I'm going to just do an imaginary line because that's basically the same one. That way. No, they're not even. And in fact, even on this picture, they're not even either. But for this one, I just decided I'm not even going to bother with it because I'm going to have so many different patterns on top. It just sort of adds to the whimsical quality of the piece. So you can fix it if you'd like, though. Like, I'm definitely not going to stop you from that. Go that side. I'm gonna go that side. Now we've got a little birdie, but these birdies are just kind of floating there. You've got to give it a place to rest. Perhaps a branch. Perhaps a little like a bird feeder, perhaps. It's really up to you. I'm going to show you guys how to create a branch right here. Now, you can put any kind of pattern later, you know, that you want inside the branch. 100% up to you. Branches, from my experience, they're a lot more easy to paint than they are to actually draw. At least in my experience. So branches, whenever they start at the tree, when they come up from the tree, they're going to be thicker right there, and they're going to taper down and they'll become a little bit thinner at the end. So I'm going to start that way. My thick end, decide where your thicker end is going to be. Mine's going to be over here. I also want to know where my little birdie feet are going to be. And for you, if it helps you to mark just a tiny little spot, my feet are going to be there. Feet are going to be here, maybe a little lower for this guy. I would say put it closer to the tail, actually. Put your feet closer to the tail. Perhaps do a little mark there. You're going to aim for those spots. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to draw the top of my branch. My top of my branch is going to go and aim for these spots. I got that spot. I got that spot. I'm jumping over to this side. Now it's not even at all. In fact, I was partially dropping the sketchbook. So you definitely don't have to be perfect with it. Now, you can kind of decide if your branches are a little bit, like if that line right there is a little bit wavy, like mine is, mine dips down, then it really goes up. It's up to you if you want to split that up into 2 branches or not. I could very easily go over here and just sort of create the bottom there. But I could very well just kind of imagine, since it's very thick over here, I could just imagine that maybe one of these is an upper branch that splits up down here and just kind of goes there. And then here's the top of that other branch. Now I have 2 branches. And I determined that because it was very thick over here. And for branches, it actually really helps if you have wobbly lines. We want wobbly lines for that spot. Now, I know I went kind of fast. Does anybody want me to repeat any of these steps? Totally fine if you do. You can repeat any of that. It was a lot, and it was a mouthful. So, oh, I'm really proud of you guys. That was a lot. Cool, you guys are awesome. Brandy is just joining us. Brandy, there's a lot of bird. There's a lot of bird here. Okay. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I'll give you guys another moment or 2 to complete it, complete your birdies. Again, don't worry too much about anything that's kind of uneven, because we are going to have so many little little patterns inside the birdies that when people look at it, they're not going to notice how skewed your bird looks. That's not the main focus. The main focus is the patterns. So I want to give you guys plenty of time for that.
Did you do this in pencil or pen?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
For sure. Yeah, definitely pencil. And I was telling everybody else that I highly recommend you guys press down lightly. So press down lightly so that you can erase more easily. So we're going to leave the branch alone for now. Unless you want to paint it, it's completely up to you. I probably should have painted mine. I don't remember why I didn't, honestly. But we're going to paint 1 birdie at a time, okay? Now, as for colors, you're more than welcome to choose any color you'd like. Is there anybody who's using, let me take it back. Who here is not using any watercolors? You just kind of raise your hand. All right, cool.
I mean, washable markers, but
you're probably a pro at using those, right? Oh, cool. Awesome. So Heather has markers. Yes. So actually, Heather, if you're using those same markers from the other day, that's perfect. Like they work very well with water. So the thing about washable markers is that you can color on top of whatever you're doing, as long as it's the washable ones. You can color it and then use a brush to spread the pigment just as if it was watercolor markers. It'll look like watercolor. I will, however, be using watercolors, like regular watercolors from the pan. I have Prang. You can use watercolor. So for anybody at home, you're more than welcome to use watercolor pencils too. That would work really well. The only thing I'm going to be doing is coloring in our birdies, very basic colors. So my main color here is going to be that red and orange. But of course you can do whatever pattern you want, whatever colors. Let me grab my brushes. So I would recommend using a round brush, or perhaps even a small flat brush. That would be okay too. My brushes are everywhere. So I have a filbert brush, a very raggedy looking one. It's very used. It's very loved, I should say. But any one of those will be just fine. Okay, so just, I don't know, maybe for just because I can, maybe I'll do cooler colors this time, just because I can. Now, these colors, you are more than welcome to just kind of go off on your own. You don't have to do anything that I'm doing right here. I'm going to try my best to not have the colors running down since I'm holding it up. So see how that works. So you can have them be as light as you'd like or as dark as you'd like. You can put perhaps a stripe of a different color. I'm going right on top of my lines. Say perhaps maybe you're not as experienced with watercolors. If you were to go on top with water, you could spread that pigment and create a much lighter tone. See that? It's getting very light. So this is just sort of a mini watercolor lesson here. You could, if you wanted to, you could even paint with water, just pure water first. Say perhaps this is my pure water spot right here. Could always go back with a separate color. Maybe I'll do purple. I'm going to grab a large amount of purple. I'm really tapping my paintbrush in there. Go right on top of your wet spot here. You can see the color really. You can see it kind of, I call it spidering. I don't know the actual term for it, but it like spiders upward. Like it almost looks like a web, depending on your paper. So you can always mix colors. I'm really not going to spend too much time on this part because the main goal is we want to give it plenty of time to dry. Now, if you happen to go outside of the lines, like I'm doing, it was an accident on this side, but then I was like, I need to make it even. So I did it on the other side just on purpose. It just adds a little something to it. It adds a little bit more to that, that whimsical quality that we're going for. So one of my big things is that there really are no mistakes like with art. And I know that sounds very, very Bob Ross, I guess. My heroes. Sounds very Bob Ross, but it's really true though. There's always a fix or there's always a workaround for it. You can always do something to offset whatever it is that you did. So I'm just going to talk out loud for now. I would say just kind of go from one birdie to the next, and then we will begin the process of drawing on top of them. Make sure you have your pen for that. Feel free to mix your own colors too. Like I'm actually putting this bright purpley fuchsia color and putting a an orange right next to it. And I actually love that combo. I didn't expect to love that combo so much. So did anybody do anything creative this week? Can be anything from, I don't know, from playing an instrument to being craftsy and creating something. Maybe you decorated something in a way that you're proud of. I don't know. There we go. Maybe I'll make my tail yellow. I don't know. I see somebody's painting, Ashley. You're painting. That's awesome. I love it. Can't wait to see it later. Oh yes, if you are using those washable markers, I'm actually going to show you how they're used, just in case you've never seen it before. I happen to use Crayola pretty often. It wasn't on purpose. I just happened to keep buying Crayola. And I use it for my work, actually, for my job too. So you'll take the washable marker and start to color it in. I highly recommend doing the color first. Color it in completely before you add the water. And you definitely don't have to be precise with anything because the brush is going to take away all of those scribble marks that you see. So perhaps I can put some down here. I'm just going to scribble it in, color it in really quickly so you guys can see it. So that on the one side, I've got the markers. Other side, I've got the watercolor. Maybe I'll do more of like a citrus themed bird on the side. Like I'm gonna put the oranges and yellows over here. I don't know, I've had the urge to draw more citrusy things lately. Like I want to do a realistic picture of like orange slices. Once again, literally just coloring it right in. If you wanted some area to be, if you happen to be using markers and you wanted some area to be lighter in color, then leave a spot blank without anything on it. Perhaps I'll put, maybe I'll put a little more orange on it. Not orange, yellow. I do that all the time. I don't know if anybody else has this problem where I'll mix up yellow and orange, the words for it, but like in my head, I'm thinking of yellow, but I'll say orange. Kind of silly. Maybe it's just me. All right, for all my marker people, I'm going to go ahead and use, I recommend using a small brush for this part because we have so many small areas. So for you guys, you'll want to start on the lightest portion. So for me, that's going to be yellow. It's very much a light color. And then rinse your brush and move on to the next color. the next lightest, I should say. It does help that this orangey color and yellow mix very well. We'll see if this green mixes well. It's a little brownish, but I like it. I like that color. Now I'm avoiding the beak for now, just because I like to color it in with the yellow. But you don't have to do yellow. Like if anybody else wants to do a different color, please, you're more than welcome to. So for my marker people down here, I left a little space here because I wanted it to be much lighter. I'm dragging that color downward little by little before I proceed on to the rest of it. There. All right. Brandy, how are you doing? How are you doing with the drawing portion? You're muted.
Sorry. I drew the birds and I'm now watercoloring the first bird. Almost done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. You passed. You caught up really quickly.
Well, if you just say it is what it is.
It is
Got
what
it.
it is. It is a bird. It's okay. Can't wait to see it. Now I am just painting in the last of my my tail down here. I think you guys pretty much got the gist of it, so I didn't feel like I had to hold it up. But I will hold it up in a second though. You guys will get to see it again. There. I think I'll add like a little bit up here, not a whole lot. I decided to change the color of my birdie's head. Other than that, I think I'm good. I am going to color in the beak. Like I mentioned, you don't have to stick with classical bird colors. You do any color. Some birdies have gray beaks. If you have small enough brushes, you can do like a toucan beak. Or maybe you can wait later and do a little like a little pattern inside the beak. If you want to do that. Now, a lot of these patterns, they're very easy to break down. Like, it's one of those things where it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Let's see if I have another example of that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh. Hello. Also, just so you know, if you don't want to use a pen, you don't have to use a pen either. You can use a Sharpie marker too. Like those work very well. Those the lines are very bold, they're very thick. So your patterns will have to accommodate for that, but it could look really nice too. Very bold lines if that's what you want. Now it's up to you if you want to paint the tree back here. I'm still deciding if I want to paint the tree. I don't know yet. That's something that can happen later. Like it doesn't really matter so much. Now, after I paint the beak, then I can go ahead and pick a bird, pick whatever bird is the driest driest to the touch, I would say. And then we'll start on that bird, because whatever pen you're using, there could be a risk of the ink bleeding if it's too wet. So if you need to wait a few minutes, then that's okay. You just kind of get a piece of paper and fan it a little bit. So do what you need to do there. I'm just gonna color my beaks in with some markers, because that's easiest for me. Okay. These are my birdies. I have my ballpoint pen with me. And once again, we can start on really any of the patterns, honestly. Like, I just want to point out what I've got here. Please feel free to take a screenshot, or perhaps take a picture with your phone if you're using your computer, if you want to refer back to these birdies. Because what's going to happen is I won't be able to hold them up in order to show you how to draw them. So I will periodically bring them up so you guys can look at them, but I will be holding my pictures so you can see how I draw it. I'm going to move it up a little bit so you can see the tail. So please feel free to take a screenshot. Take a picture with your phone. If you have photographic memory, now would be a good time to take a good look at it. I'll go ahead and point out the types of patterns we have. We have the little paisleys down here. We have, I don't know what these are. I can't tell you. I just kind of made them up, honestly. I have vines right here. I have beads right here. I have what I call half-finished citrus slices right here. I have really thick scallop shapes down here. I have a curlicue coming off of the birdie wing here. I have regular scallops, just lines. I have elongated dashes down here. They're just dashes. I have a checkerboard, circles, more thick scallops down here, more vines, dots. So it's a lot. So we'll go through them a little by little. Okay. So the main thing is to not be so taken aback, or don't really concentrate so much on making it realistic, because I know from experience that it's really easy to try to do that. So we can start off with really any of these things. I think what I'd like to do, instead of me putting it in my bird, I would like to actually draw it up here so you guys can see it a little bit better. And you guys can apply it to the bird. Maybe I'll get started on the bird though, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You can start off with perhaps some vines. Those are always going to be the easiest. You can fit them anywhere. You can layer them. You can draw them quickly. They're good filler, so I'll just put vines up here. Smaller, longer, shorter, whatever you'd like. You guys take your time, okay? I'm going to be going through these quickly, but you guys take your time. Beads are the next best thing. So this one's pretty dry. I can put some beads here. Also another piece of filler where you can kind of string something along. I've got my beginning lines, and all I do is create little circles on top of those lines. Circles on top of those lines. You can make them quickly if you want to, or you can take your time. So you get the idea there. I'll put that up there. You guys can see that. And actually, if they're like, you can actually make them a little bit thicker on one end if you wanted to, and thinner. Guys, my pen decided to stop working. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Crisis averted. There you go. So those are beads. A good place to start, and maybe these two things might take the longest, so maybe I'll show you how to do those, is the thick scallops and those citrus slices. That's what I'm calling them. So let me start off with the thick scallops first. And for this one, it might help to actually put it inside a birdie here. So make some of these shapes. These are more scallopy shapes. And I chose to do it on the wing because I feel like it really gives the wing a very elegant look. And then you'll go on the other side and you'll try to create another line that follows that same pattern, and then you'll fill it in. And that's part of the reason why it takes so long. Filling it in takes a while because you'll want to really make sure that it's pretty dark in there. But I'll leave mine as is so you guys get the picture. It really helps to repeat them. It just looks really nice when you repeat them. So I remade that line, and I can go in and I can fill it. I think this pen doesn't like it when I use it sideways. You guys get the idea. Filling it in. We show you on this one again. So you can kind of see where I put those scallops. And the other one is going to be those citrus slices. And those, you can honestly put those anywhere. They take up a good amount of space. Draw a bunch of circles. You're going to draw a whole bunch of them, different shapes, well, not shapes, but different sizes. You can make them even or uneven. You can make them look like they're going off the page if you like, perhaps like that. And then you'll make a dot on the inside. It's a little hard to see that. And then little lines that come right out. So it's a little hard to see that. Little lines that come right out. Make that dot in the middle. Now I'm not really going to tell you how many little lines to radiate out. That really just depends on your patience. Your patience and your pen. Don't do anything that you don't want to do with this drawing, honestly. I feel like it should be that way for all art. Just don't do anything you don't really want to do. So there it is with a bunch of those lines in the middle, radiating outward. And then what I did to make them really stand out on their own was I put a little outline around each of them. Now this one you'll have to really pay attention to where it goes. It's just going to follow the outside. It's very abstract. You gotta kind of just think about where to put this line. You can pretend that it's encased in some sort of like jelly-like substance or something. And it just goes on the outside of that whole section. Forgot to do those radiating lines on the inside, on this side. So let me go ahead and translate that up here so you guys can see it. Maybe you could call them sand dollars. I remember whenever my grandmother was still around, she and I would go on the beach and collect sand dollars. It was one of her favorite things to do. If there is any other pattern that you guys can think of, then you are more than welcome to add it there yourself. I'm adding the scallop up here so you guys can see that a little bit better. Let's see. We go ahead and add the checker pattern now. And here's another one, dots. Forgot to mention dots. Dots are very good at being filler. Put dots anywhere. Dots are circles, I should say. Any size circles. Let me show you where I put some circles in here. Oh, I put circles and dots in here. So again, I needed filler, so I put some circles in here to sort of accentuates the scallops that I put down here. I put down here a bunch of little dots. It's a very subtle detail. Little dots in the tail. Circles and dots in the tail down here, just to give you another example. I put dots trailing down off of the vines. Dots trailing down off of the vines, just to give you some examples. There. Okay, what else can I do? Oh yes, another little one that I actually really love is they're kind of like the beads that you see. They're kind of like the beads, except they're triangles. So you make another line wherever you want to go. And you make triangles pointing in one direction. This is another one that actually takes a little while because you have to color in every single triangle. You do that by making a line, and then you connect it in the middle and then color it in from there. Is there anyone who wants me to repeat any of this? I can totally repeat it all. So I'm going to try to put one of those arrow spots or one of those arrow lines. So you can kind of see the beginnings of it right there. It's a good way to separate an area. Or just like with the beads, use it as filler too. So what else do I have? I have the paisleys, so I can do those. maybe they're not pasties. Maybe they're more like droplets of water that look like they're moving on their own. So I'll just put them up there. They're elongated droplets of water. And they all move in the same direction. Like that. So for that, maybe I'll put that over there. Now mine are moving downwards, kind of like they're sliding down, but yours can also go upwards too. Like if I wanted to, I could put that same pattern up here or down here, but just have it moving upwards. Like that. Okay. What's next? Dashes. That's another one. You can do dashes. So that's actually something that I employed in the tail. I felt like dashes really made the tail seem a little bit more elongated. So if you go, this is what I did down here in the tail. Just dash after dash after dash, pointing downward.
Hey guys,
Hi, Carolyn.
sorry for the delay.
Oh, you're
can only
good.
put in for a minute, but while I was eating dinner, I tried to do a little bit. Yours is much prettier than mine.
Can we see? I'm gonna spotlight you, okay? Ooh, I love it, Carolyn. Look how pretty that is. It's so pretty. You did the checker pattern in there too. I love it.
I
That's
didn't have any
awesome.
watercolor in the bedroom while we were eating dinner, so I just used the marker.
That's awesome, Carolyn.
Yeah, it's really
I-
cool.
I
Did
was
you do it
talking
ahead of time?
to Haley's twin sister about you guys and how we do everything, and
Mhm.
my adopted kid Matt also. And so I'm hoping they'll start joining us also.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And you said that
really
you guys are
need you guys.
celebrating Father's Day. Is that right?
Yeah, we had Haley over last night, and then Lex and Matt came over tonight.
Nice.
That looks gorgeous, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm putting all the patterns up here so everyone can see it.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you were able to stop by.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't get here sooner, and sorry I can't stay, but I really miss you guys, so I wanted to at least try for a second.
I know. Thank you for stopping. Making time
All
for
my
it.
love, guys. Have a good night.
Hi, Carolyn.
Good night.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hi, Carolyn. So, I think I have maybe one more thing to show you. And then I'd like to see if anyone wants to show us.
What
their-
about eyeballs?
Yes, eyeballs. They need eyes. So let's do almond shaped eyes. I feel like almond shaped eyes are pretty typical for birds, but you're more than welcome, of course, to do round eyes too, whatever makes you happy. And the eyes are usually going to be closer to the beak, right over here. So I'm going to start right about there. There's the top. There's the bottom. And they can be looking wherever, honestly. I'm going to have my little guy looking that way. This little guy. Again, make them closer to the beak. Little love birdies looking at each other. What else am I missing? Oh, yes. I actually drew some little, they're the vine shape, but it works really well as little loose feathers that kind of curl up from the head. I started off with this one here, and then with this one I just added more, because why not? Birdie deserves more crazy feathers going everywhere. So if you like that element, just know that it's the same vine pattern, but you start at the top of the head, and this head, like it rounds downward, but then I'm gonna make it go upwards like that. Rounds downward, then goes up. Same thing with the other feathers here. So that's just if you like that element. Yeah. I'd like to open the floor to anyone who wants to share what they have. While we're waiting, I'll just kind of hold this up for you guys. I got through most of the patterns. I'm actually going to, oh no, there's one that I missed actually, just one. It's this one right here. This one right here. And that one starts off looking like a vine, but then I enclose it and make it thicker. Looks like a vine, then I enclose it and make it thicker. I don't know what to call it. So let's see, I can start right here, I guess. Looks like a vine, like that. But then I enclose it. It's like fine. And then close it, kind of like that. And then I just kind of stuck some actual vine shapes in between. Again, as filler. Like I said, those vines are great as filler. Right, anybody to share? We can get more time though, like we can definitely wait.
Here's mine.
Hey, Sharon. Okay, Sharon, I'm going to add you so we can all see. Oh, there we go. And you even have like a chevron,
Oh.
like the stripes going down. I'm loving your colors,
Yeah.
especially on your little pink birdie.
I love it, Sharon.
I know. Super cool. Thank you, Sharon. Lovely. Anyone else?
Sure. I'm not done, but I'll show.
Ah, you're
Um,
Birdie.
Okay, so, oh, right. Oh, it's funny. Okay, it won't. All right, hang on.
It's blurry.
So I decided to try something, and apparently that's what happens. So I decided to outline one in the Sharpie and
Really
not one. So I'm not quite done, but that's why the blur didn't.
didn't register it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. No, I like the outline though. I was actually thinking about doing that too. Like I like that idea.
I regret it, but maybe because I have a big thick Sharpie, and had I had like the narrow one that would have been better, but
You know, I feel like there's more to it. There's can be more to it if you want to. Because when I look at the outline, I can see, I feel like you can really incorporate it into the birdie. So like, here's an example. Just that's the kind of outline that you have.
mhm.
I just gotta make it even, right? Like that. And
Yeah.
then if you want to, perhaps right here, it can cut inside into the wings,
Oh, okay.
like incorporate it that way. But you incorporate it without fully putting that Sharpie line in there. Just an idea.
Okay. Yeah. So not the whole wing, just the end.
Exactly, like just the end.
Okay.
So just an idea though. I like it though. I thought that I would do that too. In fact, I'm going to outline everything on this birdie and see what I can do with it.
Oh,
Like that.
okay. I do like that better.
Yeah, good. Yay. Okay. Who's
Here's
next?
mine. I don't know if you
Yay.
can see it.
Easy. Okay. Let
Oh, wait,
me.
oh wait, I have a blurry background, so let me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always forget about that. Let me see.
I do too. You're the only one.
That better? There we go.
Yes.
I don't know.
There we go. You see it there? Oh, that's pretty. I'm really loving the spirals on top of the green right there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm loving the way you incorporated that top area with the teal and the brown. You cut across with those. I think they're the beads. I think they're the beads. They just go
Yeah,
across.
the beads. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and they look adorable. Like
They
their
do.
little eyes. They look so happy.
The little jaunty like
Thank you.
beak.
Uh-huh. I love them. They're such happy little birdies. Anybody else who wants to show, you're more than welcome to just hold it on up. I am here. I see you, Judy. I see you. There we go. Yay! You are muted, just so you know.
Oh,
Pretty.
I know, that's love. Judy, you're muted, you know. If you want to unmute yourself. I'm loving the thicker area into the thin areas though.
I used let's see, it's one of these gel pens,
Oh,
black
yeah.
gel pens, and
Uh-huh.
actually it really goes nice on the watercolor.
That's good. Yeah. I can see that it's very thick. Like it really looks like
And
it fills in the lines.
And I should extend on my saga of sprayed gold painted beans that I used pinto beans and northern beans for. Well, when I was showing you the fairy garden, I do other fairy gardens, and I put the little gold sprayed beans that I had extra making paths, and I was watering some of the other plants, and now I have bean sprouts coming out in all my
wow.
gardens.
So cool.
Actually, it is cool because it's kind of like, well, it was my daughter's wedding, and now there is bean sprout life.
But they're golden, right?
Yes,
Bean
yeah, they
sprouts.
actually split, and you can see the gold beans on the sprouts. It's really unusual. So
Really cool.
well, I guess the moral of the story is don't water your spray painted beans.
I'm actually glad you told me about that because I would do it. I would do it. I love it. And I want everybody to know that actually Judy, your idea, had an idea of like you showed me a picture of something else, I think birds too, that had really simple patterns in it. And so you'd mentioned wanting to do something like that. And so this project
Yes, thank you.
by you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Okay. That's wonderful. I love that bean sprout story. All right, guys, who is next? Who would like to show? Oh, yay, Antoinette.
Oh, Tony, let's see that.
Yeah, Tony. There we go. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony, I love it.
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gosh, I love that. You're especially
like that.
the tail. The tail is beautiful.
I like the purple, like the purple bird, like his colors.
Yeah, it's so well like a nice gradient. And
Yeah.
like you kept in the lines
You did.
that you made.
But that gradient is really nice though.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. Cool. Thank you for sharing, Tony. Marianne, I see you. Yay. Okay. lovely. Oh man,
Oh, cool.
loving the pastel colors.
Oh,
Not done yet, but yeah.
Yeah. And I see those citrus fruits there. Um, I'm loving the beads though. I do. I like what you like the paths that you created with the beads. I love those.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna continue on.
Yeah.
That was
Great.
fun.
Happy.
I do mine.
Veronica.
Yay. Okay. Oh, there you go, Veronica. I'm gonna add you. There you go. Oh, I love them.
are those
Oh,
worms?
I love them.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something on top, kind of like
Yeah.
worms, like, then I was gonna put a branch on top, but then my watercolors start to run a little bit on his head. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that one.
Like it's the little birdie with the brown head.
Yeah,
Okay. I like that though. Like I do feel like if you move it anymore, it might like drip down.
yeah.
But I like how dark it is though. It gives it shape. But I have to say though, like your worms, that was a really good idea.
I was gonna put a branch, so like on the falling off the branch, and they're sitting there.
Nice. It's a buffet.
Yeah.
It's a buffet for everyone. I love it. Making me hungry, guys.
For worms?
For worms, yes.
I
I've tried worms before.
had mealworms. Is that what you've had?
Yeah, I had mealworms.
Yeah.
They're like those gag gifts that you get from like gift shops.
Oh, yep.
I was like, I'm gonna get some. And I'm gonna put them in my salad. So I put them in my salad and I ate them.
In my 20s, I did the tequila worm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it made me sick. Oh, it was
Ooh,
horrible. Yeah, it gets you really. Yeah, I didn't.
really
Yeah, I paid for it.
money to that.
And I can't really drink tequila ever since I got so sick from that. Ugh.
Oh.
Only worm I ever tasted.
I've eaten crickets too, just for the wow factor.
Yeah.
Crickets and grasshoppers and oh yeah.
Man, you too, grasshoppers.
Well, they say that like crickets are the next thing. Like that's the best way to give us cheap protein and doesn't take a lot of environmental, not a lot of impact, right? So
Yeah, I've had chocolate covered crickets before.
yeah,
Like,
Interesting.
they taste like I've had them like fried with salt, and they taste like
Yeah.
potato chips.
yeah, they're just chocolate covered. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Gross thing
interesting.
coming out. I've seen a video where like somebody on the internet trying to reinvent like mealtime, because like what you were saying, Brandy, like it's supposed to be like the next big thing as far as protein is concerned. So they're incorporating it into things like tacos and lasagna.
yeah. I have a few friends who like they
Yeah.
now they bought and they like raise them in their garages and sell them. I mean, like I think they weigh them by the pound, or like, but it's a huge business, and it's
I think that's cool. I like it. I like the direction of that.
yeah.
Who else would like to share? Anyone? Oh yay, Ashley, I'm gonna put you on spotlight. There we go. Oh, I love it. And you did yours on a canvas.
Wow.
Oh, pretty. I like that green.
It takes me a long time. My hands don't work like that anymore, so I'm a little behind, but
You did so good with that though. Like
Yeah.
I saw you really concentrating on the bird and getting everything right.
thank you.
But the blending of the watercolors looks really good too though.
Yeah, I did like where you put the water down first and then kind of take your color and like blend it downwards. And stuff.
Yeah. That's really awesome. You did really good at that.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Who else would like to show? Now again, you don't have to show though. You definitely don't have to. And if you're still working on it, hey, that's okay too. We started late, we can finish late. We'll go another 10 more minutes, I think.
Well, I'll just say, so I had never heard of Zentangle until last week. So I looked it up, and then yesterday, yesterday. So I just look up pictures and draw them. But so I found a Zentangle. It was very tangly. So I just like drew it out, and then with pencil, and then used Sharpie, and then I colored some over it in colored pencil with my partner. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it was really fun.
Beautiful though. Yeah. I would love to teach you guys Entangle. I legally cannot teach it because I'm not certified, but you just get the idea.
Well.
It's so cool. Molly, I saw that you had your picture up, so I'd like to spotlight you. Let me add you. Okay, there you go. There we go.
Oh, I like
I
the
don't- I
colors.
forget how to fix my video.
Oh,
Oh, you have the blur on, yeah.
I don't know how to fix that.
I think if you click on the three, what is it? Three dots? No, it's not
Three
the-
dots.
Yeah.
Under stop my video, there's that little carrot that you can click
Right.
up, and then there's blur my background. You can undo
Yeah.
that.
Well, mine is.
Yeah, I think so. And I think under your
Oh, there you go. You
There you
did
go.
it.
Oh
You
yeah,
did
you did it.
Yay.
Awesome. We can see
Crazy.
now. I know, and I'm really loving that you actually put
Yeah,
you really tried to color the branch too, like the big branch. I love the texture there.
Yeah, I was trying to create texture. I mean, I wasn't loving it, but
You did really good though. Like I do like the
Yeah.
texture, and I love that you have so much going on in your bird. Like there's so many patterns, especially the thick scallops. It really adds a lot to it.
yeah,
Very
I'm kind of picturing these like my husband and I. So I like wanted
Mhm.
some things that were the
Aw.
same, and then like some things that were different.
It's cute though. You did really well with it. Yay. Thank you for sharing.
So I guess he has less hair.
Actually, I should have done it the other way. I was just trying to demonstrate feminine versus masculine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. I just kidding.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Who else? Heather, awesome. I see you. Let me spotlight you. There we go.
Ooh.
Colors.
Very cool.
Those
Yeah.
colors are awesome. The blending you did really well with the blending, especially on the blue, purple, and pink one. Loving all that.
Yeah, wow.
Added the sky after revealing earlier.
Heather, just so you know, if you wanted to blend all that in the sky, I don't know if that was your plan. Oh, is your plan? Okay, good. Yeah, if you get like a thicker brush, it'll help to blend it more evenly, more quicker. Like if you get a flat brush.
Oh, is that that's the marker, the washable markers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So very cool. Thanks for sharing. Let's remove. All right. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Is there anybody who wants to share that hasn't shared yet? I think everybody. Yeah, everybody did. Yeah.
Can finish it. I added the top branch. So they having a like little smorgasbord. They all that's why they got a happy face.
The golden corral for birds.
Yeah. Buffet.
Awesome.
Well, it kind of looks like there's different kinds of worms too. So it is like a buffet. Like they're all
They
in.
have a happy face.
Uh-huh.
They see all of that hanging.
They're about to eat very well. Maybe even take some over to their babies too.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I love it. Very cool. Molly says thank you. Oh, yay. I'm so happy that you enjoyed your experience with us.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always nice being with a bunch of like-minded people, you know. I don't know about anybody who is new here, but everybody else has MS already. I have MS as well. So it's really all about, you know, supporting everybody and we're all in this together. Like, I know it sounds cheesy, but that's absolutely true. So and Heather is always fulfilling and fun. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, y'all can keep working for another 5 more minutes. You do you. Yeah, we will be here. I can't wait to see any others if you're still working on it. I still want to see it. While you guys are doing that, I'm gonna look for next week's picture. Deborah, would you like to share with us? Oh, there we go. You are muted, Deborah. I can't hear you. Sorry.
I just watched today. I wanted to check it out. This is the first time I heard of this and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, Deborah.
I might do it myself later.
Hi, Deborah.
Yeah, we'll have a recording. So you signed up, sent your email in. I can, if it's helpful for anybody, I can look for the MS Foundation YouTube page. It's always on there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Deborah. Thanks for joining us. Okay, okay. Okay, guys, give me just a second. Sorry about that. Is it? I never remember. Is it MS Foundation or MS?
MS Focus.
Focus.
MS Focus.
Okay, okay. MS Focus. Mhm. Yeah, I never remember this. I always tell people that I have a goldfish brain.
Yeah, I know.
I really do. Yeah, who said that?
You should
Okay.
give it back.
I should what?
You should give it back.
Oh, you know what I thought you said, Brady? I thought you said you should get a bath. I'm like, I know.
You're goldfish.
Goldfish. Okay, so here is the MS Foundation YouTube page. It's the main page. There it is. So you can find all of our videos right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course.
We're famous.
Yes, actually. Okay, I'm going to look for next week's class for you guys. I know I just had it up. So I always like to well, I guess I just started doing this. If you guys have any suggestions for projects, I'm all ears. Let me know. I always have to submit my classes ahead of time. But I can, if you're willing to come back, you know, or keep on coming back, then we'll probably do an iteration of that idea. Ah, here it is. I found it. Okay, so the next one, we will be using markers for this one, and it will be again, a Van Gogh inspired drawing, except with palm trees this time. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Oh yes, you're welcome, Judy. You are welcome.
It's a webinar.
Okay, guys, this one is called Palm Tree Sway. Do you see?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you use markers. As always, I have Crayola markers because that's what I use. but it's a full scene, and be ready to go rather quickly with it. Actually, I want you guys to really get your head in the sketching space. It's all about the sketching and going quickly and making movement with it, and making lots of waves, like literal waves right there with the purple and the blue. So
you just sketch with not with the pencil, just.
Yep, yeah, straight with the not crayons, the markers. Yeah.
Okay.
No, nothing. We will be able to, I'll be able to break down how to do a palm tree. So you can do as many palm trees as you want.
Cool.
Yeah, anybody new, you will get to know if you come back, if you want to come back. You'll see that I like to do things that look complicated, but are really not. You just need somebody to break it down for you. That's all. Yeah. So anybody want to share last minute? Share again last minute, I should say. You've been working on it.
I do like it all Sharpied.
Oh, you do?
I did Sharpie it all. It looks better.
Yay. Okay, let me find you. Where are you?
Oh yeah, I can share.
Oh, here we go. I just couldn't find your screen. Okay.
Yeah, I liked it Sharpied.
Bold, bold lines.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Oh, I love that. I really do love that though.
Yeah, it's fun. But I feel like this is very naked, and I need to do something here, but I don't know yet what.
You could maybe do dots, perhaps, like maybe
that felt too easy.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, I was trying to look at what you had done before that would like fit in that little space, and I was like, maybe someone had done chevrons. I was pretty impressed. Oh
yeah. So I don't know if you can see, but there's tiny little dots down here. So
yeah.
It really is a good filler. Another one can be those dashes too, if you want to do dashes.
Okay, yeah. That would
some ideas.
Kind of go in the shape of a head. All right.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna suggest something else actually. I don't know how to describe it. Like a gradient, but with dots. Like if you start in the middle, you have a more pointed spot, but have lots and lots, kind of like our pointillism process.
Oh yeah.
Like you do lots of little dots really, really close together, and then gradually they go and be further apart.
Okay.
I don't know, just an idea.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's pointillism again. All right. Any last person? All right. If you'd like to keep in contact, come back again. I'm gonna put my email in the address, or in my email address in the chat box. I always love seeing what you guys create, so you can always send it later. hgarrisonart@gmail.com. There it is, in case you need it. Awesome. So can't wait to see you guys next week.